Hey friends, real quick. I have a new bundle that I'm offering. I would like to help you with your reads more directly than I can do in this video channel. My new bundle is called Reinvent Your Reads, and it includes a 30-minute one-to-one Zoom conversation where I can listen to your reads, I can see your reads, we can talk about what you're doing, and I'll give you a few immediate action steps to make them better. And the bundle continues with 3 sessions of First Monday's Read Club so that you can follow up on the things that you've learned, so that you can ask follow up questions, so that you can bring new questions to us, and so that you can feel what it is like to be a part of my warm and lovely community. Because the world is a better place when more oboists are happily, effortlessly playing on their instruments and on their reeds, and I can help you. Thanks for considering. The link is in the description below. Now our episode. Hi, I'm Jennet Ingle, the 5 Minute Reedmaker. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click subscribe for me. That way you always know when I drop a new episode, and it's easier for other people to find my channel and become themselves better reedmakers and happier musicians. Thank you. At the convention, I had a really interesting conversation along the lines of, is it ever valuable to leave chatter marks in your reed, to leave like just the little notching that happens when your knife is oddly sharpened or not quite sharpened yet? Is there any value to roughing up the surface of the cane on purpose to make the reed more vibrant, maybe along the same principles as the dimples in a golf ball, to, make it more aerodynamic? The theory sounded to me a little crackpot, but I love experimenting with a crackpot theory. It reminded me also a little bit of this whole back and forth that the Facebook internet had a while back about the fractal reed over on Etsy, which is like the junkiest looking thing anyone had ever seen. It was hard to imagine how it worked, but because it was for sale for like $500, no one was going to actually ever find out. And irrelevant, right? I'm not trying to make that read or even explore that conversation. But, it's intriguing. So I came home to run some experiments. And first of all, let me tell you that this experiment was fully inconclusive. I don't think it's even possible to run a controlled experiment where one side of that control is just like an intentionally messed up read. But I feel like I did learn some things that I really enjoyed learning. The first thing, I assumed it would be easy to make my knife chatter on the reed because novice reed makers do this all the time. It seems very easy to make your cane all notched up and messy looking. But I had a harder time than I thought because I'm accustomed to doing it the way I do it and to sharpening my knives the way I sharpen them, which for me is well optimized to prevent chattering. So a few things that I experimented with. I feel that I had discovered that in Oboe Reed Boot Camp and at other places, people with more expensive knives, the thinner blades, the harder steel, were seemingly the ones most prone to having chatters happen. So I pulled out this just very narrow razor knife that I picked up that was sort of adequately sharpened to be an oboe reed knife. And I picked up my Museco Infinity knife, which has a very thin blade that can easily be sharpened. And I picked up this quite new Chirurgy knife that I grabbed for myself out of my stock at the convention. And none of those automatically gave me chatters, again, because I'm accustomed to working with reeds and cane and knives. So I then grabbed this tool, this sharpening steel that Tom Blodgett at Genda showed me how to use this year at the convention, and found that, how am I going to describe this? My normal technique is, to keep normal as of 2 weeks ago when I learned this, to have my knife quite vertical and go right side, left side, right side again. And the way he explained this is that what I'm doing is resetting the burr on the knife. I'm not resharpening it, I'm just adjusting the burr and the angle of the burr. And that's been working really well for me, but it wasn't making my reeds chatter. So what I have been experimenting with is going vertical, 12 o'clock, down, right side, and then the last stroke, I've been really bending over toward like a 1 o'clock position. And I find that when I scrape, let me just show you. So I'm removing bark with this absurdly sharp knife. And it's not too hard for me to... Okay, never mind. I still can't make it chatter today. But I have had some success with adapting the angle of this burr to something that is a little less normal for me and making a little bit of chattering happen. So I decided that that was good information. The information that I think I got from that is that it is not necessarily about your knife being expensive or particularly thin or particularly thick. It is about having the angle of the burr not match the way you are scraping. The other thing I discovered, I guess, in trying to make the knife intentionally chatter on the cane, the other thing that I discovered is, of course, I tend to have I always have my finger underneath the reed. I'm always pressing back against the knife, and the more authoritative I am with my reed holding hand and, with my knife strokes, the less likely I am to have chattering. But if I'm just very delicate and really don't press back very much with my finger at all, still, I'm not really showing it here. I'm not getting the chattering of which I spoke, but that is the way that I was able to access it. Here is an example of a reed that I really tried intentionally to mark up. And you can see, I think, that in the heart and a little bit in the windows, I've got some of those horizontal lines. Like, I was successful in getting my knife to chatter here. And here's an example. Same wind, same shape. No two pieces of cane are ever the same, but this is sort of my more normal scrape. I still have a big wall at the bottom of the heart, but not really so much like busy stuff on the surface of the cane. When I try these two reeds, the question is, does this blue guy sound the way it does because of the chatter marks that I left on the surface? Does the pink guy sound different than that because I smoothed it out? Or are these just two different pieces of cane and two different reeds that each have their own individual characteristics? I kind of think it's that, because here's this blue reed. It's got there's a little bit of edge to the sound. There's a little bit of rawness in this crow, and it's not really a finished reed either. And when I play it, it sounds like this. When I get it right side up and play it, it sounds like this. And for me, this reed is a little bit wild, but it more feels like a reed where the heart is a little bit too thin and the tip is not quite thinner enough. which I can adjust. But I didn't want to because I wanted to make sure that the chatter marks stayed. And in contrast, here's the pink one with the smoothness on its surface. For me, this also has like not the nicest sound. It does seem a little bit smoother, a little bit more connected note to note. It also feels a little thin in the heart, and this may just be like the habit that I had as I was scraping these two blanks, like took me a little out of my norm. Maybe it's the gouge. I don't know. What is my ultimate response here? I don't think that I have any kind of coherent answer on whether chatter marks in the surface of the cane give you more vibrancy than not having that. I believe that I can tell you that if you find that you're getting that kind of chattering on the knife, it is because the angle that you are scraping at, whether you are pulling or pushing or like chiseling or snow plowing your cane forward, the angle that you are using and the burr that you have set up on your knife are not well aligned. And like my short answer is like just sharpen it again and try to prevent that. The other element that can certainly cause chattering is like a tentative quality to your scraping, especially to your reed holding hand, your kitty hand, where you're using that index finger to resist the knife, to press the reed into the knife. When I use lower pressure, I find myself more likely to chatter my knife on the surface of the cane. I loved the question. I have not been able to answer it very adequately, but I wonder what you think. Do you think that those chatter marks have any real impact on the reed? Do you have this problem? And have you found a way to like resharpen your knife to prevent that? Do you have a better way that I could have designed this experiment to get a clearer result? Let me know in the comments. I'm always fascinated to hear from you. This has been a 5-Minute Reedmaker lesson. You can follow these short videos here on YouTube. You can subscribe if you wish. I hope you will. And if you need to reach me to order reeds or cane or a copy of my book, The Happiest Musician, you can find me at jennetingle.com. Thank you so much and have a great day.